What's going on, guys? Aaron from Top Tier Gaming here, and today I am coming at you with a dueling video between myself, and at this point I was at 250 rating, versus my opponent who is at 271 rating. The ladder reset recently, so everyone's kind of low rated right now. Or I guess not everyone, but I am. And yeah, so this is going to be between me, who is playing Bystial Dragonmaid. I have a deck profile on the channel that you guys can check out if you want to see what a list kind of looks like, what list I'm playing. I think there's a couple of changes in here. And my opponent is on the brand new Dark World deck. And yeah, Dark World's got crazy support, so I'm super excited to sort of show off what they got. And this version he's playing is a very combo heavy version that can make some crazy boards and push through a lot of interrupts. So yeah, before we get into this dueling video, I do want to let you guys know, Discord link down below along with all of our other social media links. Also, I'm trying to climb the 10k ladder. I think I'm really close to 13k. So if you do enjoy this video content and you like what you see here, feel free to like and subscribe. It really helps me out and what I do here on the channel. And without further ado, let's hop into this dueling book game. So it's been a while since I've uploaded one of these on the channel as well. There just hasn't been a lot of content as far as duels that I was really interested in. But yeah, the new Dark World deck is something I wanted to show off. He's got 47 cards to my main deck 40. Opening hands, I have Parlor, Branded Beast, Saronir, Effect Veiler, and Super Poly. So it's like solid. It's like I drew one of the weird Bystials and I drew Beast, but we have two go second cards, and we're going second, and a Parlor, Super Poly, so three go second cards, excuse me. Overall, yeah, I'd say this is a really solid hand. And my opponent has, I don't know why that's blocked, Silva, Ceruli, Desires, Accession, which is the fusion spell, and Bigfoot. I know there's a bunch of different versions of Dark World. Some play Ceruli, some don't. Like, you can play the Neko Main King version, the Ceruli version. You can play, like, Super Heavy Dangers. There's a bunch of different variants I've seen, but the Ceruli version is definitely trying to combo with Silva to loop your hand, so let's see how that goes. So our opponent's going to start off with the Desires, which is, of course, okay. I don't have anything to say to Desires. Our opponent's going to draw another Ceruli and a Mothman, so that's a lot of Ceruli. He's going to activate the Bigfoot, and I hit the Bigfoot, so that's extremely lucky. I mean, 1 out of 6 cards to hit the Bigfoot, but that of course is the downside of the danger package, right? Like, dangers inherently have RNG. Sometimes it's going to happen. It's the one downside these crazy extenders have. He's going to activate Mothman, to which I hit the Accession, which means he's going to special summon Mothman and draw a card, which is another danger. And Accession Engrave is good for him as well, because he can just proc it whenever. Thunderbird effect, I'm going to hit the Silva, so a free special and draw for him, and then Silva's going to activate to special summon. And I'm not going to Saronir that. Like, Dark World, initially, my thought going into this game, it's been a couple days, so I don't remember my thought process exactly, but I want to save it for, like, Grapha, or the new one, the new Rainbow. I think that's his name. Did they rename him Rainbow? Potentially. I'll have to see once he draws it. We see he's playing Creeping Darkness as well. But yeah, I didn't want to Saronir the Silva. I just didn't think that was worth it. Our opponent is going to normal summon the Ceruli and link off into Saryuja, which is a very all-in play. Now, I mean, I guess things like Effect Veiler and Imperm aren't the most popular things in the world right now, so it's a little more free. Unfortunately for our opponent, I do have the Effect Veiler in his very all-in Saryuja play. My opponent's going to Creeping Darkness to add, presumably, oh, that's interesting. Like, there's a couple of things you can add here. I kind of forgot he added this instead. But you can also add, like, Snow with this, which would have been decent because he has the Accession. So, like, part of me thinks you'd want to grab Snow, discard it with Accession, and then search Genta, and then search the other, the field spell. Maybe that's wrong, though. Maybe the way he did it is right. I am not a Dark World aficionado yet. I do plan to do more testing with this deck eventually. But yeah, Genta's going to search Gates of Dark World, which is insane. He's going to banish to discard this Ceruli and draw a card, which is another Accession. Not very great. Genta's going to special summon, and he's going to scoop, my bad. Yeah, so he had a lot of gas, but again, not being so lucky with the dangers and drawing multiple Ceruli, it sort of shows the downside potentially of the build he's playing with like more bricks than you'd expect, and you need luck from the dangers. There are more consistent versions, but they oftentimes have less power as well. So you really have to sort of decide which version of Dark World you're going to take. That being said, it really was an unlucky Veiler. Like, it's not a very popular card this format outside of a couple decks. So again, it's maybe safe to like not expect it to get Veilered. And if that goes off, who knows what he could have done, right? So we do stop him with a Veiler, only needing one hand trap. And then going on into game 2, I am going second again. Opening hands, I draw Druis Worm, Hospitality, Effect Veiler, Saronir, Magnamut. I saw this hand, and I kid you not, I'm pretty sure I just like got up and went, yo, this is actually cheating. Like, drawing one of each unique Bystial and Effect Veiler, I looked it up, has less than a 1% chance of happening. Like, I think just drawing one of each specific Bystial and no extra copies of them is like a 2%. You add the Veiler in there, it's like less than a 1% chance. I think it was like 0.3. So this is like a lottery winning hand. Like, I saw this and I was honestly like disgusted. I was like, there's no way I can lose this game. But this game takes some crazy turns, and I want to give it up to Dark World here in the form of this deck can play through interruptions. You guys are going to see, and it's going to be actually insane what Dark World can do. So our opponent opens up Grapha, Allure, Danger Nessie, it is Rainbow, Overking of Dark World, the new Rainbow, and Desire. So, I mean, a lot of draw spells, and a Nessie, he needs that Nessie to hit good, right? So, he's going to go ahead and activate Desires at the start of his turn here, and draw 2 cards for free. And we also have the Veiler again, just thinking about how good Veiler is if he goes for the Saryuja line. Drawing Jackalope and Genta, so those are some insane draws. We look at the Banish, 1 Grapha. The Grapha could come up for sure. Like, it's one of the things, obviously I didn't know what he banished when I was playing against him, so it's interesting to see now sort of what got banished. Nothing super important except the Grapha. He's going to pitch Genta to search gates of the Dark World, which is fair enough. Activate gates, banish the Genta to discard Rainbow and draw Mothman, pretty solid. Then Rainbow's going to activate and Genta's going to activate Genta special summons, and at this point, I think one of the things I want to use the Bystial on is Rainbow and Grapha. Like, those cards in particular, in my head initially were the cards I want to hit, because most of Dark World's like U-linking shenanigans or insane stuff it does is based off Rainbow and Grapha bouncing back resources and like looping them. So I was like, okay, I have 3 Bystials, I can definitely expend 1 on Rainbow. So I go ahead and activate the Magnemute, which he says is fine. I'm gonna banish the Rainbow. He searches the Silva with the Rainbow. Definitely should have waited for him to search off of this first before showing. It might have changed what he searched, but I definitely get a little trigger happy there. You know, late night DBs, sometimes you just tend to care a little less. But yeah, we're gonna activate the Magnemute effect to search at end phase. And then our opponent is going to activate the Allure of Darkness. He has a lot of darks in hand, so this works out nice for him. Drawing another Danger and a Brow, so those are some great draws as well. Discarding the Chupacabra. Activating the Mothman, let's see what Mothman's going to hit. And it hits the Silva, so he's already starting off with better luck with the Dangers for sure. I'm going to draw a Dark World Archives. That is such an insane draw. Silva's going to special summon. Again, that's not something I'm really keen on hitting. Maybe it's something I should hit. I'm gonna have to readjust how I think about using Bystials against Dark Worlds. Activate the Dark World Archives, use Danger Nessie. Nessie is gonna pitch Brow, so again, he's having much better luck with his Dangers this game than the last one. He's gonna draw for Nessie, and then Brow is gonna activate, and he's gonna draw, and then Archives is gonna allow him to discard a card. Any card, right? Is it really any card? Yeah, discard any card. He chooses Zephyros to draw 2 cards. So, draw Cerulli and Accession. So, now, I've used a Bystial. It doesn't really look like I've stopped anything, but I still have a lot of hand traps, right? He goes Allure of Darkness, and I think on Res, I want to do this before he activated the Allure, but he activated it so quick, and I was like, okay, it doesn't really change anything, so that's fine. He's going to banish the Brow off the Allure. I'm going to Bystial the Zephyros, because Zephyros, in my mind, similar to something like Grapha, first of all, it's going to put a body on board, but it can bounce gates to be another banish and discard, and like, that is a guaranteed discard outlet. Like, I feel like you want to kind of put Dark World off having those, and like, it felt like Zephyros was too free, so I use another Bystial on the Zephyros to summon the Druidus Worm. My opponent's going to make Dugaris, which this was another point of contention for me. He's going to activate the effect, and I thought really hard about using Effect Veiler here because, again, this is another discard outlet. Of course, he has 2 Dangers, so it didn't really matter in hindsight, like, really what I did unless I got really lucky on the Dangers. But, like, at the same time, if I use the Veiler now, he already has 3 bodies on board, and he hasn't normal summoned, so he could just, like, normal summon and make Saryuja, and that's really bad for me as well. So, I decide to hold the Veiler here. He's going to discard the Cerulli and draw 2. I'm pretty sure you draw first. Yeah, but he just knew he wanted Cerulli out of his hand. But yeah, draw 2, discard. Cerulli's going to activate, and I think this is maybe a misplay on my part as well. So I'm going to banish this because if he's activating Cerulli, I know 100% he's got something with value, right? This isn't mandatory. Oh no, it is mandatory. Okay, so I guess I missed that part as well. It is a mandatory effect. So I didn't know 100% if he has a Dark World card with a lot of value. But I mean, just look at his hand. Like, there was a lot of things I could hit, namely like the Brow and the Grapha here that could have been really nasty if Grapha hits my effect veiler, right? So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and hit Cerulli. Mostly I was afraid of him potentially having Silva, obviously. But then again, like, one of the things is, I guess if it was Silva, I could have Saronir the Silva I discarded with Cerulli. So I guess it just sort of depends. But it wouldn't work great versus Brow, so maybe hitting Cerulli's right there. I'm quite unsure. Bigfoot, discard Brow. Again, his danger luck is insane. He's going to draw Genta. Brow's going to draw Creeping Darkness. Now look, I've used 3 Bystials. What have I done? I've actually done nothing. Like, his board would have been even crazier if he had these cards, right? Like, he'd be farther ahead, but these Bystials didn't really do anything, and now I'm down to 1 effect veiler as a hand trap. So that's really tough. He's going to Creeping Darkness, which is, again, just more gas. This deck's so insane. He hasn't normal summoned. He searched Armageddon Knight. Normal summon Armageddon Knight. I hope you guys are enjoying watching him combo. I was enjoying watching him combo, and I was, like, flabbergasted. I used 3 Bystials and it felt like nothing. Maybe I just hit the wrong cards. You guys can leave down below if you would have hit something different or what I should have hit if you know the matchup. But yeah, I felt really bad that my Bystials didn't do anything. So he's going to bounce with Rainbow. Link those off into Akashic. Akashic's going to bounce the Danger and my Druis Worm, which I'm fine with. I probably need this for next turn as well. And I was like, wow, he's bouncing Bystials back to my hand. I feel kind of good about this. But there's almost a reason he does it. So he's going to go ahead, activate the Bigfoot, discard the Silva. Again, he cannot miss with these dangers. Very stark different from last game. Silva's going to special summon. He's going to go ahead and Gates of the Dark World, discard Beige. Special Beige, my goodness, it's actually so crazy watching it sometimes. Security Dragon, bounce another Bystial. And then I was like, why is he giving me so many cards? But it makes sense, because if you're going to try a Silva loop, I do need at least 2 cards in hand. So Security Dragon, bounce Magnamute. Really surprised he didn't bounce the Saronir. I wonder why he chose Magnamute there. I think you'd want, no matter what, I think you'd want Magnamute to stay on board. He's going to make the Saryuja, to which, you know, I do decide to Effect Veiler. This has kind of been what I've been saving my Effect Veiler for, because Saryuja does so much, right? Like, as an extender to special from hand, it filters the hand for anything it needs. I feel like it was a worth Effect Veiler. Maybe the Dugaris was right at the end of the day, but I don't know. He's going to Fusion Summon by discarding. That's such a silly mechanic. The Grapha and the Snow. Yeah, I feel like you would really want the Magnamute on field, not the Saronir. And then he's going to Snow Grapha, pop Saronir because it is mandatory. Snow search Cerulli, and at this point I'm like, yikes, that's really bad. He's going to go ahead and also now he has this, which is tough for me as well. Bounce a Silva for the Rainbow. Then he's going to be able to Danger Jackalope, and is he going to miss? No, of course not. He's going to hit the Silva. These free dangers are really hurting me. Silva, bounce back, special Grapha. Archives effect just to discard to make everything gain 500, which is such a good effect it has at the end of the day. Cerulli's going to special summon now, and I can't Bystial it away. And then Silva is finally going to hit, and at this point he uses Silva's effect, and I'm like, this has to 100% hit Hospitality. Oh wait, no, yeah, I choose, that's right, yeah, okay. I knew I had to send back Hospitality, and then I had to decide which one to keep, which was obviously going to be Magnamute there. And at this point, my opponent is going to link off for Reproducus. It's so crazy how this deck can just U-Link for free in so many different ways. Now he can bring back the Grapha after bringing back the Rainbow, link those off into Unicorn. Unicorn effect, spin the Cerulli, put another card in his deck. Mothman effect, hit the Snow, he does not miss. Search Silva. And from here he can activate the Accession, add back to hand, discard the Silva. Special the Silva, bounce the Silva for Rainbow, or excuse me, he's going to link into a 2-negate Apollousa, which I'm surprised there wasn't a line where he could have made this before Saryuja potentially. Yeah, he just had so much gas. Like, keep in mind, I've used 4 hand traps against this man, or against this duelist, excuse me. Well, his name's Tim. Maybe I'm fine there. But yeah, so this is wild. Can I remove the highlight there? Okay. So he's going to bounce back, specialty Rainbow. Overlay into Hope Harbinger, which is just an amazing card to negate a spell, potentially, right? Like a Dark Ruler, well, not a Dark Ruler, but a board-breaking card like Raigeki or something of the sort, right? Just another good spell negate. That can also protect his Apollousa. And that's where he's going to pass. So at this point, I'm going to have to search with my Magnamute at end phase. I'm going to search a Bystial to try to break into this board. Like something like a Dragonmaid starter isn't going to help me into what he has, especially with this Appaloosa. And at this point, I've already had the luck of drawing 3 Bystials, and I've already had the luck of having Valor. I had 4 unique hand traps. He still put up this board. At this point, I'm like, well, I have to draw Super Poly. But I've already had so much luck, there's just no way. And I top deck Super Poly. I was like, this is my game to win, but there's no way I win this game. Like, there's nothing I can do, right? But I notice he has 4 cards in deck, and I'm like, well, this is the win condition. I have to deck my opponent out. So I'm going to draw phase. Or, I guess I was trying to go standby phase. I didn't actually do it in draw phase. But this is where the Grapha thing actually comes up. The fact that he banished the Grapha off Desires is huge for me because he doesn't have a Grapha to make like another this Grapha with the Accession and get discards, right? Like, he could have discard with the Fusion to make another Grapha, discard the Cerulea effect, pitch the Silva, get 2 cards out of my hand, but he can't. So Desires does come back to bite him a little bit, or making the Hope Harbinger. Maybe that was also a misplay considering you banished a Grapha. So I think here I'm gonna go main phase 1, and I'm just gonna activate Super Poly, discard the Druis Worm to take 2 darks to make the Starving Venom, which I definitely activate here because I know he's like forced to negate it, otherwise I can run over his Hope Harbinger. But I'm like, this is super fine. And then battle phase, I'm gonna swing at the Appaloosa, to which he's going to use the Harbinger effect, which I'm fine with because it means I'll be able to proc my Starving Venom effect in Grave. Now, honestly, I think he kind of misplayed here. I think something he should have done was actually let the gain happen and let me swing over the Hope Harbinger, and then you still have a 2-negate Appaloosa. But now, because he had to use his Appaloosa negate on the Starving Venom, and he had to use Hope Harbinger to protect the Appaloosa, he doesn't have Appaloosa negates, and maybe that's like hindsight's 2020, but I think, honestly, you should have let Starving Venom game, because this is the outcome if you negate my Starving Venom down. And now I have plays, so I'm going to go end of battle phase. He's going to Accession because he detached the Grapha. I'm going to chain Magnamute on the Grapha. This is, again, where having an Appaloosa negate would have helped him a lot. Special the Magnamute, and I'm going to activate the Magnamute effect to search an end phase. And now that I've put bodies on board, decking my opponent out seems reasonable. So I literally had the best luck in the world this game, to be honest. I mean, the only thing better would have been having my opponent have bad luck, but we both had extremely good luck, I'd say. Him with his dangers and his draws, and me with my opening hand. So at this point, he's going to Gates, which is kind of scary because he's actually getting closer to decking himself out, but he wants to make a play. So he's going to go Silva, Special Genta, Archives effect, discard the Silva here. And, you know, he only has 3 cards left in deck. He's going to special a bunch of monsters, though, get the Accession back. And he can't use this to make the Grapha Fusion because all of his Graphas are banished, so he's going to discard the Cerulea, or discard the Accession, excuse me. Thunderbird effect, and at this point, he only has 1 card left in deck. And now he has 0 cards left in deck. All I have to do is survive this turn. He's decked himself out. That being said, this man has a lot of monsters on board. So he's going to link off the Appaloosa because obviously it is tiny and 1,000 attack monster is much better. Going to go ahead and make the Dweller. Then he's going to use this effect to special summon back the big Grapha Fusion, to which of course it's getting Bystialed. Also, I'm pretty sure this is supposed to still be discarded because this thing already activated. It has to resolve as much as possible. Even though the Grapha Fusion got banished, you still need to discard off this card because once activated, it needs to resolve as much as possible, and the discard, and if you do, like, A needs to at least happen. So yeah, he has to attack into Druis Worm, which Druis Worm will not activate because of the Abyss Dweller. But also this monster is 3,100 attack, so I'm going to take 600 from it because it's 800 boosted. Take another 5. And then my opponent has 2,800, 1,700, and 1,300, which puts me at 900 damage, which is even, yeah, I need to add 300 more. 900 life points. My opponent can't make like a cowboy or anything. So yeah, I end up winning the game. But honestly, let's be real, that was Dark World's win in like 90% of situations, even though I opened such a crazy hand. I think that game was honestly insane and makes, you know, this duel video worth it. It's kind of the reason I wanted to upload it, was this game is so silly. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I know I did. I definitely enjoyed watching that over again and commentating over it. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down below in the comments of this duel. Did you enjoy it? I want to do more duel videos, but they tend to get less traction. So if you do like duel videos, again, feel free to leave a like and show your support. Help it like get into the algorithm, because my duel videos tend to do less well, and it sort of lets me stray away from making them because they just don't get the traction. But yeah, I really like doing them. So again, if you enjoy the video, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. This has been Aaron from Top Tier Gaming. Bye, YouTube.